Hey everybody, this is Jose. We are about to start in just a few seconds. Let's go ahead and use this time for a sound check. Please go ahead and confirm in the chat box with a quick message if you hear my voice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for confirming that sound is good. Nice to see you all. We got 4 seconds to go and we start, everybody. Here we go. We just reached the top of the hour. So let's maximize the introduction slide so we can get started. Hello, everyone. How are you out there? Ready for short-term trading and intraday opportunities? I am. I'm sure you are too. Good to see you all. Second session of the year when it comes to intraday trading. You probably remember last time market was quite quiet, if you wish, and we were not able to be that active. Hopefully today we'll have a little bit of a more active session. Remember, my plan for you guys is to do a little bit of what I normally call teamwork. So be ready for that, meaning that we're going to be identifying opportunities, putting a plan in place that confirms if the opportunity is valid or not, and then executing, especially since 30 minutes from now, 29 minutes from now, the US market will open. We should expect a little bit of a peak of volatility, and therefore the plan would be to ride the moves that make themselves available to us. So let's begin with, well, actually, I haven't set the date. Today is January 16, 2020. And also, I didn't say my name. My name is Jose Blasco. Most of you know me because we do the sessions together. But if you're new to the session, a pleasure to have you. And you are more than welcome. Before we start, we have a disclaimer as well. So let's do it. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content in the video, using the video, is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. And that's the disclaimer. Okay, so disclaimer is done. Therefore, now I'm switching to our beautiful TradeStation platform. Know that I also have ready to use TradingView for us to take care of Forex opportunities, nice volatility kicking in the euro. So hopefully we're going to be able to plan some trades. Well, actually, not only the euro, most of the currencies with the US dollar are moving quite nicely as we speak. But anyway, let's just follow a process. That's what we always do, isn't it? So we're going to come into TradingView. This is just to save time. You can certainly do this same process manually. And what we're going to do as we get into TradeStation is look for the golden alerts. Okay, those trade alerts are suggesting an opportunity may be available. Then we need to reconfirm with the charts that everything is according to plan. But it's a great tool to save time to be able to see those golden alerts. Okay, so now golden is what we're looking for, but that's not only what we're looking for. We're also looking for the word sensible in it, okay, because sometimes it's going to be golden but hopeful. So that would be opportunities that we skip. So we are shooting for golden, sensible, and also, of course, we want the climate to be confirmed. Notice the climate column here, right here, sometimes is gray, sometimes is colored. So we are looking for the colored climate. We want to avoid gray because gray would mean the climate is not fully confirmed, and this results in little bit later odds in our trades, and therefore, since we have multiple charts being assessed at the same time, we don't need to force a trade of a lesser probability. We rather stay in the discipline side and go for the opportunities that, from a statistical point of view, produce more benefits to us. Okay, in this sense, the S&P 500 futures is giving us a confirmed climate and a near sensible long golden opportunity. Therefore, we're just going to go ahead and open the S&P workspace that I have ready and prepared with the proper timeframes and everything else. And we're going to assess that opportunity. Okay. Very good. You guys have been very quiet up to this point, which makes sense. I haven't done much yet. Okay. But anything that you may want to confirm or consult or share, please feel free to type. Maybe you wanna share with me how the beginning of the year has been, and I'd love to know how your trades have been running so far in these initial 16 days of the year. Okay. But anyway, so what do we have here? As seen before, we have two blue thick dots. Okay, so sapphire color dots mean the climate is confirmed to the upside. Stats indicate that we are in candle number 2. That climate is supposed to last 6.31, and it's only number 2, so certainly it's a sensible opportunity, as we were being told, thanks to the red screen. Now, when that's the case, we want to enter the market and benefit from that, entering using on-field orders that are lining up with the average. That way we have direct and indirect forces joining forces. So 3304, 3,304 is the average. And as you can see on the 2-minute time frame, we don't have a green UFO at this price point. On the share bar time frame, we don't have on-field orders at that point either. And on the tick chart as well, same story. So in other words, we have to wait. At this moment in time, we are in waiting mode, waiting for on-field orders to be generated. This will show on our chart in the form of flying saucers like the one here below, but we need them to form around 3304, which is the current price. So this could happen anytime, and therefore we're going to keep an eye on this while we're looking for other opportunities, because a minute from now, 3 minutes from now, we may have a new UFO that form, and then we would want to go ahead and begin planning the trade. Okay, so just to get ready for that, okay, good practices, you would want to begin putting together the plan of the trade just in case. And remember, the one thing that we need to find ahead of time is the target. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the ES, okay, is I'm just going to input, that was a Forex trade that we did last time. So I'm just going to delete those parameters. And here where it says final target, I'm just going to be looking for the final target on the S&P, okay, which we may have or we may not have, okay? So if I turn on AutoUFOs, okay, in the 15-minute time frame, it doesn't show any red UFO, okay? If I scroll, well, I guess that we are all aware that the S&P is making all-time high. And in that sense, as we speak, we don't have red UFOs, which create that unique opportunity, which we've seen for many times since a few years now, because the market has been making all-time highs nonstop for multiple years in a row. And that situation is a situation where we cannot set a target, okay? And if we cannot set a target, okay, so then the way on how to take profits would be to just plan on trailing stop following price as new green UFOs form when the climate propagates from 2 blue dots to multiple blue dots. And that would be the only way to be able to exit the trade, because as I said, we don't have any red UFO in the 15-minute time frame. We do have a UFO here, which is red, but remember, we ignore those because they are against the climate, okay? And therefore, being a small time frame, they represent a lesser quantity of sell orders in an up climate. Those orders should get filled, may create a little bounce to the downside, but ultimately, it should keep going higher. So we are not going to use that one for target. We use, as you know from the method, the one from the common time frame, which in this case is the 15 minutes, okay? Let me see, Bojan. In the NQ long, currently about to trigger time stop. Oh, you are already in the trade? Okay, very good. So out of curiosity, I will open that chart to understand what you have done in your trade. Even though, of course, if you are already hitting time stop, you are out for break even. Got it. Okay, got it. Perfect. So here's the NQ. By the way, I have the wrong symbol here. I need to change from at NQZ to H20, isn't it? Okay, so let me load that one. Okay, yeah, and I'm guessing that what happened there to you is that for a while you had a bounce to the upside, and then you are now entering into a change of climate. Okay, so good job exiting the trade for no pain, even though in the end the climate did not propagate as per plan. Okay, so good one. Okay, so the S&P is still flashing here. Okay, we also have an opportunity with natural gas flashing that was not there before, so it's time to go ahead and open the workspace for natural gas. Okay, and also teamwork. I'll be watching myself, but also I'd like you to watch as well the chart of the S&P. So if any green UFO was to form, please immediately type it on the chat box in case I miss it. We'll work together as a team, as I was suggesting, and we can plan on that particular trade. Okay, so Let me load the right, let me confirm I have the right symbol here. Okay, so looking at loading bar chart. Remember, I always talk about it, isn't it? How energy markets, metals, softs, agricultural products, they have expiration dates which are happening more often than the indexes, and also they are not necessarily going to be March, June, September, and December. Okay, so oh, I just clicked on briefing.com. I just got the wrong one instead of bar charts. Okay, got it. So here we go, bar charts. So make sure that when we're dealing with those markets, which are not the indices or the currencies, make sure it's a good practice to always go back here, and every time you're about to trade, or let's say once a week or something like that, you come back here to confirm what the right symbol is. And notice how the symbol should be the H. Okay. Notice how on my chart I got the G. Okay. So I will need to change this to NGH20 instead of NGG20. Did I type it right? NGG20. Sorry, NGH20. Okay, interesting. So we're having a different opinion with the rollover. Oh, here we go. Notice how the website is suggesting that the right symbol should be G, but notice how the greatest volume is still found. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The website is suggesting the H to be the right contract to be used, but notice how the greatest volume is still found on the G, not the H. Okay, so TradeStation agrees with the G and not agree with the H, and that's why I'm getting this error message. Okay, so it seems that in the end, I did have the right symbol with NGG, and therefore I am reloading that. Okay, not sure what is not loading. Okay, so at NGG20. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I got the one. Okay, so also it seems that gold may be an opportunity. Okay, so what do we have here? So with natural gas, okay, now remember natural gas, we're using the 60-minute time frame as a common time frame. You can see this very clearly here on the market climate. We're using 60, not 15, like the ones above. Okay, we need to come back to gold in a minute. Okay, but let's continue with natural gas. Quick look at the S&P, no green UFO yet. Okay, got it. So when looking at the natural gas, it seems that we got Ruby dot number one is a thick dot, meaning the climate is confirmed to the downside. And stats suggest that these climates could last up to 5.68, okay, and it's still candle number one. So certainly we're entering at a very good time, but we need to find UFOs located at 2130 for us to enter the trade, okay? Now, 2130 is right here, okay? And if you think about the bottom part of this UFO, it's 29, the top part is 36, okay? And therefore, those two UFOs, that UFO, it's certainly lining up nicely with the moving average, okay? I do have a problem though, okay? And the problem is that my stop would be located above 36. And if I move my stop one tick above 36, okay, that's 37, okay? And I mean, this one here below is actually 33, okay, 33 to 42. So in other words, that UFO happens to reside within that UFO, okay? And if I was to put it all together, I'm making my trade to be a trade of a great risk. And I'm not concerned about a great risk because I can always lower the size of the trade and make it less of a risk. But I am concerned with where the location for the safety target would be because now the safety target would be located, way too far down because you would have a risk going from 30 all the way to 42 is 12 ticks of risk. And that makes the distance to the safety target to be far enough to not to be safety anymore, but just to act as a normal target. Nothing wrong with that, but we call the safety target safety for a reason, isn't it? And therefore, we're gonna pass on a natural gas trade at least for now. Maybe later a new UFO forms, and then we'll be able to take it. But of course, we will not know that until the next 60-minute close. Therefore, I would need to leave that one for you to check. Okay. Question here with Rob Wagner. Why does NGG 2377 volume does not show the same UFO? Well, that may be, Rob, because you're using different settings than me. The settings I am using on AutoUFOs as we speak is, let me show you. My settings are calibration 0.618. Okay, I'm using the golden ratio as my calibration setting. You may be using 0.5, and that's the reason why you may be seeing different UFOs on your screen. So there is a session on the YouTube channel under sharpening, which talks about calibrations and the pros and the cons. I'll phrase it very quick, just so you know. The lower your calibration setting, the more UFOs you'll have, but the greater the probability of being stopped out. Where the higher the calibration setting, you will have less UFOs, okay, but they will tend to be a little wider, and therefore the probability of being stopped out is less. There is no right or wrong, as I discussed in that session, but there are certainly pros and cons of approaching trading in with different settings. So it has a lot to do with your trading personality, your trading psychology, your experience, and so on. And my choice, as I explained in that video, is 618, 0.618, which happens to be the golden ratio. Okay, so Rob, I'd love to know if you could confirm that your setting was different than mine, and also that the moment you make it 618, 0.618, then you do get the same result as me. Okay. In parallel, notice how we got more flashing lights here. We got natural Japanese yen giving us an opportunity, and also the euro futures giving us an opportunity. Gold now is falling into hopeful, so we'll pass on that one. But the Nasdaq, okay, and the euro, it's giving us an opportunity. Okay, so quick look at the S&P. Do we have the green UFO? No. What about the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq has a new defined climate to the upside, where the average would be 94.97, and 94.97 is located above this green UFO. So we have similar situation with the Nasdaq and the S&P, where we have a defined climate, but the UFOs available are not lining up with the EMA price, which is 1995. Let's call it 1995. We don't have any UFO around 1995, and therefore we need to wait for green UFOs to form both on the S&P and on the Nasdaq future. Okay, so while we're waiting for this to happen, it seems that we may have an opportunity with the euro futures. So I am loading EC. Okay, EC, and we'll be looking for, or first of all, changing the symbol, because I got here ECZ19. We need to change it to the right expiration date, which is ECH20, isn't it? ECH20. Here we go. Okay, and what do we have with the euro? So with the euro, what we have a down climate, but notice that just a minute ago or so, the climate that was confirmed moved to unconfirmed. Okay, and this is something that we can also see now with the gray color that was not gray before, but now is gray. Okay, so we cannot go ahead and execute this trade with the euro since the climate got unconfirmed, and therefore we need to use a little extra patience to wait for the climate to reconfirm as a down climate, red color but thick dot instead of thin dot, or the climate may now switch from red to blue, and we just need to wait for this to happen so we have evidence instead of a guess before we trade. Okay, in the meantime, then I'm gonna go check on the Japanese yen futures. Okay, and going from market to market, today we have many golden lights suggesting trades. Unfortunately, the setup on the chart is not validating the trade for now, so we are just navigating from chart to chart looking for the opportunity, and when that's the case, we'll then happily execute. Okay, so same story with the Japanese yen. I need to switch symbol. That means it was a while that we didn't do a Japanese yen futures trade together. So loading JYH20, everything is being reloaded. I do have a down confirmed climate, okay, with the Japanese yen. And you can see the average price is 91.19. Okay, let's call it 91.20. So 91.20 is right here. Okay, 91.20 is right here. And that, I believe, coincides with the bottom of the UFO, which is 91.20. Okay, so it's very, very tight, but it does coincide. And therefore, it seems that we do have a valid entry. Actually, like 4 or 6 minutes ago, price went into that UFO and started falling down from that UFO. So you could have taken this trade and basically already kind of reached safety target. Okay, we were not there at that time. Okay, so we're gonna still plan the trade now because the UFO is still on the screen, meaning that the app understands that enough on-field orders are still available still available right now. Okay, so looking for the target, I am loading the common time frame, which in the case of the yen is the 60, turning on AutoUFOs, and what I'm looking for is a green UFO. Okay, now for me to be able to find a green UFO, it seems that I'm going to have to load more data. So let me look at the daily time frame to see how much more data I need to load to get to that price point. Okay, and it's looking like it may be a lot of data for me to load. I may need to go back all the way to December 18. Okay, December 18. Okay, so because it's plenty of data, and in order to avoid issues and slowdowns, I'm gonna disable the apps. Okay, now that no app are active, I'm going to go ahead and switch the date to December 18. So I'm loading all this data, which actually I should have done that with a 60-minute time frame, not with a daily. So let me do that again in the 60-minute time frame. So December 18, 60-minute time frame. So everything is being loaded now. You can see the PD in the upper left, pending data. Almost there. Wonderful. Rob, thanks for confirming that. Thanks for confirming that. Okay, so waiting for the pending data. In the meantime, quick look at the EC. Still unconfirmed climate. What about the natural gas? Still waiting for a UFO to form. What about NQ? Still waiting for the green UFO to form, where the average is. What about the S&P? Still waiting too. Anything new on the climate side? No. On futures, everything is the same. We still need to deal with Forex, which we haven't started yet. Okay, so I got all my data downloaded on the Japanese yen. So what I'm going to do now is I want to enable AutoUFOs, but this may potentially slow down my translation given the amount of data loaded. So what I'm going to do is use the command .off. I'm going to type L for offline, but I have it here already. So working offline, by doing so, I disconnected translation from the network. So I can now easily and quickly apply AutoUFOs. Nothing is going to be slow down. It seems that I don't have any UFO at this price level, so I may need to load more than that. Wow, interesting. So we're gonna go back to the daily time frame, and I need to reconnect. So now I'm gonna use my .on for online, working online. It's gonna ask for the password. Here we go. Password is in. Okay, I am connected, and maybe I didn't look at this correctly, but let me see. Okay, so what do we have? Well, maybe we need to go back in time all the way. Well, that was October 18. I did December. Okay, let me load a little more data here as well. What if I load 5 years of data? I need to see where the lower prices. So it's either October or we need to go all the way to January 16. Okay, so just to not to waste our time, I'm just gonna go ahead and load all the way to January 16. Okay, so I don't need to go back and forth within loading and unloading data. Okay, so PD here on the upper left. Okay, so loading plenty of data here. Sometimes when you do that, TradeStation will change the style to candlesticks. I'm not sure why. So we only need the dots. Okay, so loading the PD here, just waiting here. Okay, so quick look at the other markets. Notice how the euro is pushing down again. The climate is not confirmed, but we'll have a new update on the climate in let's call it 7 minutes from now. Okay, so we may have a confirmation of the climate, and then the current average is 97. That may coincide with that UFO, and we may have a valid entry here with the euro. Okay, but we still need to see that. Okay, so with natural gas, nothing new. With the Nasdaq and the S&P still waiting for the green UFO to form, that has not formed yet. So back to the yen, still pending data. Okay, waiting for that. So what I'm going to do to save a little bit of time as well. Okay, I'm multitasking a little bit, but this is real trading. When things happen at the same time, we need to act quickly. So I'm going to look for the target on the euro in case in the end the opportunity works. So for the euro future, my target would be 111.745. Okay, so 111.745, that would be my target for the euro. Let me make a note. Okay, so final target. Okay, final target for the at EC. Okay, that would be 111.745. I believe I said it was. So yeah, 111.745. So that's the value I got. Okay, so if later on in 6 minutes or so from now, the climate does confirm on the euro and we need to rush into a trade, I already know what my target is. Okay, Japanese yen, we got the whole download. So now what I'm going to do is to go offline again. Okay, go offline. So now I can apply AutoUFOs without getting any slowdown on my computer. And now I'll be able to scroll up, and here is the target for the yen. The yen will have a target of 0.9059. Okay, 0.9059. So when going short with the yen, okay, if I was to do Japanese yen futures, so my target would be 0.90, and right now I just forget what I said, 0.90590. Okay, so that is the target for the yen. Okay, good. So back to the chart, back to disabling AutoUFOs, back to 60-minute time frames with less candles on the screen, and now back to going back online so we can complete the plan of this trade. Okay, working online. So you guys with me on the little trick I used to not to slow down TradeStation when you have to load so much data from so many years ago. Okay, so when that's the case, you have to do this to avoid problems. Okay. Okay, so TradeStation reloading everything, including what's on my other workspaces that we don't see at the moment, since I am only showing one. So auto climate. Here we go. Okay, good. So what do we have? The yen. Okay, so with the yen, we have a defined climate. Average is 0.9189, so that is 20. So we talked about that UFO as a valid entry, okay? And we just mentioned the target would be located below, okay? So let's go ahead and write the plan for the trade, okay? So I'm going to remove the euro thing here so we don't get confused, okay? So we are planning on a trade, okay? We are planning on a trade where we are gonna be shorting the yen futures. The entry will be 0.9120. That would be the plan. Safety target, I'll look at that in a minute. The stop loss is going to be above 24, so we'll make it 25, so 0.9125. So that is 5 ticks, okay? Therefore, the location for the safety target would be 91.15, and the final target, as we already said, is going to be 0.9059. Okay, so this with a gray background, if you wish, that would be the trade for us to execute using the yen futures. Okay, so I'm just gonna come in here and place the order. Here's my 20. I'm using 2 contracts by default. Of course, on your end, make sure you calculate the right position size, and also if you want to use real capital or using simulated trading, that of course is going to be your choice. 25 and 15 are going to be are going to be the location. Let me see, did I do 2025 and 91.15? So we got 91.15. Oh, okay, I'm like, why is that? I made a mistake with the entry. Here we go. So we got 25 is the stop, 20 is the entry, 15 is the safety target, and the final target, we said it was going to be 90.59. So now we're going to have to do a little bit of scrolling here with my last target pushing down all the way to 90.59. Okay, the yen futures and the euro futures, they have 5 decimal places. So it's a little bit similar to spot Forex, where when you scroll like that, sometimes you have to scroll for a long time. It's not ideal, but now that I did it, you can see very clear the plan for the trade, where the entry would be 20, the stop will be 25, and the final target 59. Okay, a new UFO has formed here, as you can see as well, but that one located at 18.5. Okay, 18.5, 18.7. Yeah, so the average is 18.7 currently. If price comes back up, the average is going to be more like 18.19, 18.20. Sorry, 91, 19, 91.20, and therefore the average would be above this red UFO that just formed. In other words, we ignore that UFO and our entry remains the one above. Okay. Cool. So anyway, market just opened. Okay, we have the trade with the yen in. Hopefully, you guys were able to place that order. Quick look at the euro. Remember, we had this question: is the climate going to confirm or not? And as you can see, the climate has not confirmed. We got two thin dots in a row. Okay, two thin dots in a row. So you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and close the euro workspace. We will not need it. Okay, so I will just close it. Okay, no need for a euro workspace. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the other opportunities that we're looking at. Okay, so okay, good. So climate, what do we have? The S&P is potentially gives us an opportunity. The Nasdaq is not confirmed, so I'm just gonna close the Nasdaq as well. So we don't need the Nasdaq. Okay, so close the Nasdaq, non-confirmed climate. The S&P is confirmed to the upside, but we are still waiting for the green UFO to form. No green UFO has formed at the moment. We certainly need to watch this very closely, because especially now that the market has opened, things may happen very, very quickly. And if that's the case, a UFO may form anytime. So again, teamwork, please. If I do miss the fact that a UFO form, let me know. And therefore, I'll be able to come immediately and plan the trade. Okay, so what else do we have? Natural gas. We are looking for red UFOs to form. Not at the moment. So we are just going to wait. What else do we have here? Okay, so EC and ES, and also the yen. We have the trading natural gas. We got nothing at the moment. Lean hogs is also providing an opportunity for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the lean hogs. Okay, I'm gonna close natural gas too, since it seems that may not be an opportunity for us today. Okay, so Control O to open a workspace, looking for the lean hogs 240-minute time frame. Of course, we need to confirm we are using the right symbol. So going back to my list of symbols, isn't it? And I'm gonna go ahead and look at the softs. Sorry, the meats. Here we go. Loading meats. Okay, got it. So lean hogs right here. So what is the right symbol to be used? The right symbol to be used is suggested to be the J. Okay, J symbol. In translation, it would not be HE, it would be LH, but after the LH, we would have the letter J. And when looking at the volume, yes, indeed, we have more volume and open interest with the J than the G. Therefore, we would want to switch to LHJ20, and that way we're using the best symbol for this particular trade. Okay, interesting. It seems that TradeStation is not recognizing that fact yet. Did I input this right? LHJ. Okay, so I am feeling that probably TradeStation is still using the G. Okay, so if I switch for LHG20, okay, now it works. Okay, but I don't want to use this one. Okay, would not be a terrible mistake, but we've seen clearly the most liquid is the J. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to have to pass on the at. Okay, and I'm going to have to type the symbol LHJ20. I will have less historical data, but I will have the J, which is what I want. Okay, so this is how you will need to deal with a situation like this. Okay, so what do we have here with the climate? Okay, so the climate seems to not to be confirmed. Okay, and The reason why is because TradeStation, when you input at LH, the way I have it here, is using, now we just discovered TradeStation is using the G, where the right one to be used is the J, not the G. So in other words, that's why we get to see a climate that is not confirmed with the G, sorry, with the J, where with the G it would be confirmed. Okay, so in other words, we almost have an opportunity with lean hogs, but we don't. Therefore, I'm just going to close that workspace and forget about it. Okay, so let's take a look at everything else. So let me see. The climate propagating on the end, that's good to see, but we also need price to come back to the entry, so we have to wait there. Remember, we are dealing with a common time frame of 60 minutes for the yen, so be patient. Okay, be patient. We still got 25 minutes to go. And with the S&P, climate confirm 3305. 3305. Oh, let's guess what? This does fall in this green UFO. So 05 is the average. Okay, so this is a little bit of a wide UFO, but visually speaking, if you look at the amount of points, it's really 1.75. Is not that wide. Okay, and therefore we're gonna place a trade here with this market. Okay, so that would be 06 to 04 is 2-point risk on this trade. Okay, so ready to execute with 06. Okay, the stop would be located below 04 by 1 tick, so that would be 0375. Okay, and that is 2 points and 25, and therefore that would be 0825. That would be the safety target. Okay, remember, for the S&P we are making all-time high, so we said we are not going to use final target, so I'm just going to click to cancel my final order because I am still buying 2 contracts, as you can see. B is 0 out of 2. My stop is also protecting 2 contracts, 0 out of 2. My safety target is only 1. So then if I reach my safety target, I will be left with 1 contract. So what am I going to do if that's the case? Well, then I will be riding or trailing my stop in order to ride the move as much as I can. And it seems that we just got filled on the entry here on the S&P. So if you are with me on this one, we are in a trade, my friends. Okay. By the way, quick comment as well. If you are more conservative and you like to use the reactive timeframes, then you would be looking at the bottom part of my screen and looking for a green UFO to form. At this moment in time, you still haven't got one, so you should not enter the trade yet if you are using reactive timeframes. Okay, if you are like me, of course you are in already. Okay, and we may see a green UFO form anytime here on the bottom part of the screen, and that would be your indication, your extra evidence that shows you that we found on-field orders where we expected on-field orders to be. That extra evidence should give you a little extra benefit when entering the trade from a probability standpoint, even though of course that may mean that you buy at a higher price point compared to us. Okay, I bought at 3306. You may have to buy at 3306.5 or something like that. So in other words, you may miss the trade or you may get more risk. Okay, and again, that's what it is that is trading. Every decision got pros and cons. Okay, in the meantime, we're having a little bit of a reaction to that UFO. Nice to see. We also have the climate probably being responsible for that reaction. Nice to see. Moving towards the safety target. But of course, let's be focused on the trade because we also have a rule called the time stop rule, which triggered during this candle. So in other words, in 4 minutes and a half, let's say, if we haven't reached our safety target, we'll have to, in 4 minutes now, if we haven't reached our safety target, time stop will apply. Remember, time stop is an optional rule, but I do use it. So time stop will apply and will get you out of the trade for the minimum loss as possible or a smaller profit. But time stop would imply that you get out. So while the S&P is running, okay, and by the way, how many of you are in this trade with me, guys? I'm going to check the yen. The yen, we're still waiting for price to retrace and come back to the entry, so nothing to do. So back to the S&P, I think it's probably the most useful time spent right now since we're going to have to act on the time stop. And since some of you should be in the trade, I would like to make sure that we are doing this together. Rob, the time stop rule has you, depending on how risk averse you are, has you use from anywhere from 3 to 5 candles. Because my priority in the sessions, given the fact that we are a mixed group, and some of you have limited experience in trading, and for sure some of you are very experienced, but especially thinking about the ones of you that are less experienced. So I'm using a time stop rule of 3 candles. That's why that's 6 minutes, given the fact that my time frame on the left is the 2-minute time frame. So basically it's 6 minutes. Okay, so I still got 1 candle and a half to go, around 3 minutes before I do my time stop. Okay, so 9:39. So yeah, exactly exactly 2 minutes and a half now for me to act on my time stop. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick with this trade for a minute so we can manage it together properly, since it's only 2 minutes and a half, and later I'll go back to the climate radar screen looking for more opportunities, and also hopefully some Forex opportunities which we haven't executed yet as of today, isn't it? Let me see. Let me see. The EC just hit a red UFO. Bojan, got it. But I think the climate was not confirmed on the euro, isn't it, Bojan? Or maybe the climate confirmed later on, but was not confirmed when I was looking at myself. Okay, so yeah, so we have less than 2 minutes to go now. It seems that we are two ticks away from the safety target, so 1 tick away. So it's looking good for us to get there. But again, rules are rules. Looking good is just an impression. So we just need the market to push a little more, take us out of risk. That's it. We just reached safety target. So this trade cannot lose for us anymore. The time stop rule is now out of use. Okay. No need for time stop since we reach our safety target. And therefore this trade, even if we get stopped out now, you will lose the same amount you made. So you cannot lose anymore. So now what we are looking for is our other rules, which is too far too fast, right? So if price moves by another $112, okay, gets to 237 and no UFO has formed, then we will trail stop. Or if new UFOs form, then we will trail stop based on where those UFOs are located at. Okay, so good news and good one. If you're with me on this one, good job. Let me see comments. Mark, why not check the monthly or the weekly to check first? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mark. We are doing short-term intraday trading, and we have a very specific set of rules, and none of the monthly or the weekly timeframes are part of the intraday trades, isn't it? So really, no need to do so. You may be exploiting or mixing other methodologies, and that could be useful, but you would want to backtest to see the effect. Okay, don't overdo it though. Keep your rules simple, because if not, you will miss on many trades. Oh, for the final target. Well, we have no final target, even if you use the monthly time frame, Mark, or the weekly time frame. Okay, here we go. We just got a green UFO form. Okay, so this green UFO is giving us a location for the stop to be 305. Okay, 305, 3305, I should say. So moving it to 3305 right here. That's the new location for the stop, thanks to that UFO that just formed here on the left. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that the S&P is making all-time high. So even if you check a larger time frame, such as monthly, you will not see anything. Okay. Oh, on the JY, yeah, well, we did find a target, isn't it, on the 60-minute time frame, Mark? So no need to change time frames. Again, that would save you a little bit of time, but also you divert from the methodology. And again, rules are to be followed. I get your point, and I totally understand your intention. And it's not like you make no sense, but at the same time, you are now adding variations or more rules, which is, hey, if I load X amount of data and I don't see a UFO, then I will need to go for a different time frame. And now you fall into, okay, so which time frame and why? And have another set of time frames on top of the time frames we already have. In other words, you may be adding complexity to the methodology. What I have added is waiting time for the download, but I didn't add more complexity. And I would say we both make sense, but I would also say simple works. Okay, so that's my suggestion for you there, Mark. So anyway, we have the S&P trade running. Okay, so back to our opportunities. So yeah, Link Hogs is still flashing, but we know what happened to Link Hogs. So I think it's time for us to now start exploring opportunities for Forex. We got nothing on the 60-minute time frame, okay, because the ones flashing golden, they happen to be unconfirmed climates. I know, because of the gray color. So I'm going to move to the US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD and Aussie dollar both are confirmed climates and near sensible. Okay, so US dollar CAD and Aussie dollar. These are gonna be my next picks. With the yen, we are still in waiting mode. Okay, and with the S&P, yeah. So price came back to the UFO, bouncing from that UFO. So we'll see what happens. We are still in an okay climate. Okay, 4 out of 6. Okay, so the trade, assuming everything it works according to plan, the trade is doing the normal thing to be expected. Okay, which is going up and down in an overall up climate, overall move. Okay, so let it do its thing. We gave that market room for breathing, if you wish, by placing our stop located at 33.05. Let it do its thing. Like it gave us another push, and we'll keep riding the move. Okay. Good. So Forex. Here we go. So let's get into the 4-hour time frame setup. Okay. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame setup, and we're gonna start looking at the Aussie and the Canadian dollar based on what we said. So loading the Aussie and the Canadian dollar. So the Aussie has a confirmed climate, 6 out of 6. Okay, so it's still time to take the trade. Okay, still time to take the trade. Let me see. Yeah, still time to take the trade. Now, according to the rules, you still got 15 minutes to take the trade. Okay, so good news is that this green UFO lines up perfectly with the average. Okay, you can see the average located at 69.10. The UFO is 69.098. It's okay to call it 10, isn't it? Especially since we're gonna add 2 pips. So we do have a valid entry right here. So it's time to look at the target for the Aussie US dollar. And I'll do that using the 4-hour time frame, turning on AutoUFOs, and that's telling me it actually is looking pretty nice. Target would be 69.78. Okay, so let's write it down. We are talking about a trade to go long. Okay, we are going long the Aussie dollar. Okay, target would be 69.78, so 0.6978. That's the final target. Entry would be 0.6912, if I'm not mistaken, because what I'm doing, let me disable Auto UFO and go back to the edge time frame. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this UFO. Okay, here we go. That UFO is located at 69 something is 10, and because it's a buy order, I add 2, so 69.12. That is what I wrote, 69.12, correct? Stop will be located below 01, okay, below 01. So you take 0.6901, and then we add a wiggle room of 5 pips. So that would be 68.96. Okay, 68.96. And the question is, do we have 68.96? Let me push this up. I'm concerned we may have some green UFOs there. 68.96 falls below that UFO. So it's actually all good. Okay, it's actually all good. So we have an entry, we have a stop, and now I am supposed to calculate my safety target, which is gonna be 12 plus 4, that is 16 pips above. So I'm gonna add to 69.12, I'm gonna add 16 pips, and that will become 28. And that will be the trade to be executed to go long the Aussie dollar, US dollar, okay? So please go ahead and make a note of this trade with the AUDUSD as this trade is valid, and that is to be executed using spot Forex. Okay, I'm gonna wait 3 seconds and go back to the S&P to see if I do need to do any trailing or anything like that. Okay. Oh, the ES hit stop. I'm seeing your comment now, Mark. I was not watching. Okay. Yep. Nice one. Nice one. So this trade is concluded for a small profit. Okay, we made an initial profit of $112, and then we lost whatever. Maybe it's gonna be like 75 or something. So I would say rounding figures, this trade produced a profit of approximately $50 by using 2 contracts. And it's nice to see that even though we have such a strong push to the downside, it's nice to see that we were able to exit the trade with a little bit of profit instead of a full loss, which would be the normal thing given the push that happened in the opposite direction. I mean, you can see 2 large market players show up with massive amount of sell orders, okay, and that's why we got multiple red UFOs forming. So when that's the case, okay, we gotta be grateful and understand the importance of following rules because they keep us safe. Okay, cool. So anyway, I'll close this workspace. What else do we have here with the yen? So the yen coming back up, getting close to, we are like 7 ticks away from the entry. Okay, so waiting for price to come back to the entry. In 10 minutes from now, we'll hit the top of the hour. I should say 11 minutes from now. And what I'll do is, before we conclude the session, I'll kind of recheck this trade to revalidate that that particular UFO is still good to go for our trade. Okay, so I'll double check that fact if that's the case or not. Okay, but in the meantime, flashing light here with the gold, hopeful. We forget about that. Lean hogs, we talked about it, so we forget about that too. And then the one I haven't checked yet is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. So let's do that. Since we got a trade, by the way, we just got filled on the entry here, right? With the AUDUSD, isn't it? Oh no, not yet. We are about to hit just a little lower, yeah. Yeah, so we are like 1 pip away. So we are really about to get filled on this trade. Okay, so I'm guessing some of you are placing the order, and it'd be good for me to know if you're doing so. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, that was the other opportunity. So that one will not work, okay, because we do have a defined climate of 6 out of 7. In that sense, climate-wise is fine, but we are now hitting the average located at 130.47, and unfortunately, there is no red UFO at this price point, okay? So we are entering a price point where an indirect force known as an exponential moving average may act and may push it down, but we don't have the direct force known as on-field orders, or for us UFOs. We don't have any UFOs at this price point, and therefore we cannot line up direct and indirect forces in this trade. So we pass on the US dollar CAD. That one would not be valid. But again, the Aussie US dollar is basically getting you filled now. If you're using a proper broker with narrow spreads, we just went below 12. Okay, the low of this candle is already. Where is the low of the candle? 11.6, okay, 0.69, 11.6. So you may get filled if you have a broker with a spread of 0.4 pips or lesser. Okay, cool. So let's go back. Okay, let's go back. We still got 9 minutes to go, and hopefully we'll identify another opportunity. You guys have been very quiet today, by the way. I'm guessing it's all good, and also I'm keeping you busy today, which is also good. But I'd like to hear from you guys, even if it's just a short confirmation to let me know that it's all good. Please let me know if it's all good. I'd like to know. And in the meantime, I start looking at the minors, okay? We are looking at the minors now. We got a collection, plenty of opportunities here, actually. Plenty of opportunities with the golden light, okay? All near sensible. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opportunities. Only one of them is unconfirmed. Okay, so being unconfirmed, we have one less. Okay, crude oil is flashing an alert. Okay, but careful with crude oil because it's hopeful. So even though it's flashing, you could ignore it. Okay, you could ignore it. You could certainly also 7. Well, actually no, 7 out of 4. That's certainly hopeful. Okay. So anyway, so let's go for it. Euro AUD. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the minors now. So Forex opportunities, looking at the minors. So I'm going to change to another watch list, Euro AUD. And when looking at the Euro AUD, what do we have? We have a down climate. Okay, so it's 4 out of 5. So it's all good. The average is located at 161.31, okay? And moving average is known as moving for a reason. It moves. So if the Euro AUD goes up, the average will go up. Therefore, that 61.31 may become 61.32, and 61.32, guess what, is a valid entry UFO. So we do have an opportunity with the Euro AUD. Now, careful. If you short the Euro AUD, you are actually long the Aussie dollar. And with the prior trade, we were actually entering long the Aussie dollar. So if you plan to enter both trades at the same time, just make sure you use half of the size for each not to find yourself in a correlated position, which basically doubles your risk because you are going long the Aussie dollar twice, okay? So keep that in mind. This is absolutely critical, okay? So, but anyway, looking for the target. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, turning on AutoUFOs, looking for rival UFOs. Wow, it does look like there is a lot of room for this currency to fall. Yeah, all the way to 158.94. Nice to see, but remember, when your targets are so far out, the probability of reaching them is less. Okay, so make sure that you're gonna have your proper, proper rules to exit this trade by doing trade management and so on. Okay, so final target. Okay, so we're gonna use 158.94. Okay, so 158.94.1, that is round up to 95, and then we are 2 because it's a buy order. So the final target would be 58.97. Entry would be 1 point. I need to go there. Stop needs to be 1 point. I need to go there as well. Okay, so what is the entry? Well, the entry would be located on the edge time frame, which is the 21-minute time frame. Okay, and that is 1.2132, 1.6132. So we're talking about a huge potential for movement to happen here, which would be very, very nice to see. Okay, so now when looking at this trade, 161.46, 61.46.1, this needs to be rounded up to 47. Okay, and from there you add 2 because it's a buy order, and then you add 5 because it's a stop, and that's gonna be 54. Okay, so from 54 to 32, we are talking about 22 pips of risk. Okay, so 61.10 would be the safety target, and therefore here is your Euro AUD Forex trade ready to be executed. Almost there. Price is just like, a few pips away from entry. Okay, but again, one more time, careful with that one, because it's not the same as the prior one, which was shorting the AUDUSD. But if you short the AUD, if you go long the AUDUSD, you are buying the AUD. But if you go short, as we just said, the Euro AUD, then you are selling the euro in exchange for buying AUD. In other words, you are buying AUD twice. So it would be recommended to use half of the size or pick one and trade only one instead of trading both. Okay, so keep that in mind. By the way, out of curiosity, what's happening with the AUD USD? Okay, yeah, so we just got to the entry 69.10. So certainly if you are if you placed an order 100%, you are filled on that one. Okay, and with the euro AUD, that is about to happen as well. Nice, very good. So continue. What else do we have? Flashing lights on the future side, nothing relevant. Flashing lights on the Forex, we just dealt with the Euro AUD. What else do we have? US dollar, Sing dollar. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And you know what? I will kind of pass because it's already moving 7 out of 11, but I would rather use some, if any. Well, actually, no, it's about the same. So I'll go for the US dollar, Sing dollar here, and see if the trade meets the rules. Good. So what do we have? 7 out of 7, different stat here. Okay, different stat. But in any case, we are reaching the average, and there is no UFO right here. The UFO is a little higher. So the US dollar, Sing dollar, not meeting our rules. Pound Kiwi. Okay, the pound Kiwi is also giving us a potential opportunity. We are about to reach the top of the hour, isn't it? So we'll be concluding the session very, very soon. So pound Kiwi, 4 out of 5. So certainly good time to enter the trade. average is 196.54. No UFO at this price, and 54 here is the end of that UFO. Okay, so no valid in this case. What else? We have the Aussie CAD, the Aussie yen. If that's okay, I'll stay away from Aussie because we've had already a few, and I don't want to add correlated opportunities. So Euro yen. Okay, let's see what we have with the Euro yen. So with the Euro yen, we have a climate 7 out of 7, so still on time. Average is 122.57. Unfortunately, we don't have anything at 57 here on the top. And if I look at my range chart, do we have anything at 57? Actually, we do. We do have a green UFO from 59 to 57. Oh, okay, no. Yeah, it's 57 is the bottom part, and it would not overlap 49. So it does not work. Cool. So let's do this. We just reached the top of the hour, so I just want to go back to the yen, as I said, and reconfirm if the yen will be still a valid opportunity or not. So we just had a new dot with still a confirmed climate to the downside. That's nice. Average 91.17. So now 17 is more or less here. Okay. And unfortunately, as you can see, we don't have a UFO at this price level anymore. The average went down. Okay. Since the market kept going down, the moving average was obviously calculated out of prior data and therefore went down. And therefore, the yen trade that we had is to be canceled because this trade is not valid any longer with the update on the moving average. Okay, so we're gonna have to cancel this one, and I will just close my workspace here. Yeah, quick look, nothing new there. So yeah, so the opportunities available as we speak are in the Forex markets, and of course, in a few minutes from now, I'm sure you'll have new flashing lights here on the future side as well. Anyway, everyone, as I said, you've been quite quiet today, and again, I'll take it as a positive that you guys were busy basically replicating what I'm doing and looking at your own setups as well. Since some of you may trade other markets, maybe you trade the Dow Jones futures, you trade the Russell, you trade the DAX, you trade other markets that I don't have on my list out of not saturating the sessions. And certainly that would make a lot of sense, and it would make me very, very happy. Okay, but hopefully as well you were working with me during the session with that Euro trade, also S&P trade, also with the yen trade by placing the order and then canceling the order, which is part of trading. And then if you are a Forex trader, probably executing the trade with the Aussie dollar and the Euro Aussie as well. Okay. Anyway, super pleasure as always. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are dealing with longer term, so we'll be exploiting opportunities in the options markets, looking at all sorts of opportunities, long term, directional and non-directional. Okay? And also a quick announcement of something you probably know already, but just in case, next week from Monday to Friday, 3 hours a day, we're going to be running a special Forex class. And if you are interested in participating, you would need to register for it. And if you don't know how to do this, even though we've been emailing, so you should have received an email from us. But if you don't know how to do this, make sure you send an email to us, reach@tradewithufos.com. Again, reach@tradewithufos.com, and we can give you information on how to be registered. Because again, the class is around the corner. It starts on Monday, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that if you register before the weekend, there is a coupon for a 10% off. I think it's before Saturday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And if you want to take advantage of that, you could certainly do so. Anyway, everyone, super pleasure to be your guide in the session today, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.